On the left with 8 rack against Carlos Quintano playing Infect. Well, it's a match. Whoever wins going to make day 2. We'll find out who the winner will be here in just a moment. Carlos's last name when you get We begin things with a Noble Horror for Kikano. Over to Tom Ross. Ooh, he's using Furious George. I like it. Good sleeves, Tom. There is an Inquisition of Kozlov. For Quicano, I'm looking for an Infect creature, and I don't see one. I see 2 Might of Old Crocia, another Noble Hierarch, a Force, and a Pendelhaven. Okay.
This seems like a very sketchy hand to keep. I feel like you need to have some Infect creature to be able to keep your. It's a fine 7-card hand. He has both colors of mana, assuming the Noble Hierarch lives, and some pump spells, but not a big fan of keeping hands that don't have an Infect creature.
Noble Hierarch's going to attack for 1. Pendelhaven's the land for the turn. And pass the turn back. The boss will draw. It's a swamp. Playing a little 8 rack.
And I get to have my Stone Rain Dream. Good way to cap off the day.
That's right. Here's a discard spell. Thoughtseize. The draw was Twisted Image. I think I might leave that there.
Probably strand that one.
Yeah. See what card Tom wants to take here. 2 Might of Old Crocias and Twisted Image. Those are the options along with the Forest. He's going to take a Might of Old Crocia. He will play a Mutavault and pass the turn back. Quicano will draw. It's a Gitaxian Probe. The boss is working with a Dismember, Shrieking Affliction, 2 Swamps. See Carlos taking a look at Shrieking Affliction. We can do the same. It is like the rack, sort of. They're a little bit different. So we'll take a look at the text on that enchantment. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 1 or fewer cards in hand, he or she loses 3 life. So
Yep.
there you go.
So this is one of the ways to, close out the game relatively quickly once you've stripped out all of someone's resources. Also, your opponent has to keep playing cards to keep up.
Swamp the draw here for Ross.
So it kind of naturally gets there. Kikano there electing not to play the Blighted Engine. He drew knowing that it would just be killed by Dismember.
Yep. Mutavault's going to come across here for 2. It's all tied up right now as Quicano will draw. You thought last round was weird. This is a strange game so far.
Playing against rack strategies is very complicated too, because the threat of discard spells, knocking out critical cards in your hand, of your resource getting stripped away.
Ross draws another Swamp. Going to play a Swamp and now play Shrieking Affliction and simply pass the turn back. Huh.
I like no attacks there from Tom.
I like no attacks mostly because I like that you don't turn on your opponent's Twisted Image.
Yeah,
That's what I like.
which is something that Kikano here is kind of desperate to cycle to find some action.
There's Blighted Agent. Ross would Dismember in hand. He can cast it now if he wants. He can pay the 3 mana too. This is Vines of the Vastwood. All right, so that's going to take care of that. Ross will untap and draw. Drew a Thoughtseize. He will play the Thoughtseize. See what Quicano's working with. Distortion Strike, Might of Old Crocia, and Twisted Image. One of the benefits that Tom actually has in this matchup is he knows what cards to take.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Played this one quite a few times.
Yeah, he knows exactly how Infect works. This is a Distortion Strike. Okay. So that's going to be an attack for 3. Infect.
Not a fan of the sequencing here from Kikano. I would have activated the Pendelhaven first, then done all of this.
Didn't get a great look at Ross's draw. Here comes Mutavault. It's a white bordered card. That's all I know. That's the rack.
The rack.
Sure. Lex Luger in the house. As the rack comes into play, choose an opponent. At the beginning of the chosen player's upkeep, the rack deals X damage to that player where X is 3 minus the number of cards in his or her hand. I think Might of Old Corrosion may have been the draw. Yep. This is a lethal attack, maybe?
I think the Distortion Strike may have been, I'm not sure if it was forgotten or not.
Hey, I'm not entirely sure, but with Pendelhaven plus Exalted plus all this stuff, yeah, it looks like a lethal attack, and that's going to do it. So Carlos Quijano is going to win game number 1 here over Tom Ross. In fact, pretty quickly up a game here over 8-rack.
Tom there not able to get the Dismember to resolve and flood out a little bit. Didn't have any way to smooth out the draw. Some variants in decks here that can't really draw cards and have no way to smooth out the polarized ends.
Let's take a look at the sideboards. We'll start with Tom Ross, who's got 2 copies of Waste Not, 1 Knight of Soul's Betrayal, 2 Deathmark, 2 Disfigure, 1 Leyline of the Void, 1 Flaying Tendrils, 2 Relic of Progenitus, 2 Asylum Visitor, and then 2 Death Shadow. Patrick, you're an expert on 8-rack. So, what do you like?
The Flaying Tendrils, the 2 copies of Disfigure, the 1 copy of Knight of Soul's Betrayal, and it's possible the Deathmark is above the bar. There might be enough targets here to play.
You got Hierarch and
Glistener.
and potentially Viridian Corruptor.
Yeah, that might be enough.
All right. 1 Dryad Arbor, 2 Spell Pierce, 1 Distortion Strike, 1 Twisted Image, 2 Nature's Claim, 2 Dismember, a Viridian Corruptor, 3 Kitchen Finks, 1 Relic of Progenitus, and then a Grafdigger's Cage.
The Viridian Corruptor, I definitely like. Once you get past that, I think it's really dangerous to bring in cards like Nature's Claim, even though they look attractive, because getting stuck with cards in your hand that you can't always cast is really rough against a deck that's attacking you with so much discard. So the Viridian Corruptor to me seems like a freebie. You can always just cast it. I like the 1 copy of Dryad Arbor as well. It's just another threat card, and you can expect some edicts out of Ross's deck. I don't know if I would go so far as to be playing the Disenchant effects, however.
Okay, reasonable. Those are the options there for both players. So they'll shuffle up, get ready here for game number 2. Tom Ross will be on the play, and we will talk about the StarCityGames.com weekly sale for the last time today. Today is one of the final days that you actually have the opportunity to get 25% off all moderately played foils.
Yeah, you can go over to StarCityGames.com, check out the weekly sale. We have a new one every Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, so make sure to check back the website at least once a week to see what the new sale is. There's a wide range of things we put up there. This week it happens to be 25% off all moderately played foils. So for your various commander decks or just random foils you want to get, head over to the website, see what's on sale.
Well, it'll be game number 2 here in just a moment. You see these players going to finish up sideboarding, so we'll learn a little bit more about the boss. It is Tom Ross, who I think he's accomplished just about everything you can accomplish here. He's only missing a couple of things, but he's got plenty of invitational top 8s, plenty of open top 8s as well. Self-proclaimed. Oh, it's okay. You ready for this?
Well, okay.
Self-proclaimed best GoldenEye 64 player has beaten people using only his feet.
We have seen this fact before, and I believe it, but I'm curious how one goes about developing that skill set. That can't be an efficient use of time.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. So we were celebrating BBD's Worlds victory, and when I got to Todd's party a little late, okay? So I come in, and everyone kind of rushes out the door, and they're like, hey, are you good at Street Fighter 2? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I haven't played Street Fighter 2 since I was like 6, but sure, I'm fine. And he's like, okay, do you think you can beat Tom? And this feels like a loaded question.
Yeah, of course.
Because Tom is pretty good at video games, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I think I could probably beat him. And they're just like, what about Tom only using Hard Punch as Chun-Li? I'm just like... What? And everyone's like, yeah, he's beaten all of us, and he's only using Hard Punch. He won't use anything else. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in. So and remember, this is Street Fighter 2. This is Street Fighter 2 where there are only 8 characters. So there's no Balrog, there's no Vega and Bison or Sagat. There's just the first 8, okay? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, I'm totally game. So first I dial up Ryu. Going to try the fireball strategy.
Yep.
Fails.
Okay.
Immediately. Really bad. Then I dialed up Blanca. I was going to try the electricity strategy. Mm-hmm. Also fails.
Okay.
So I have to go to Guile.
Yeah. Who's the cheats?
He's really good in that game.
Really good.
Strong. So I've figured out some of Tom's tendencies in my first couple of games, and now I've realized that he's a little jumpy. Great time for a flash kick. So now I'm starting to get him with the flash kick a little bit. So he gets the first 2 on me, then I win the next 2. So we have a best of 7 series. He wins game 5, I win game 6, and then Josh chose immediately like, I bet on Tom. And I'm just like, all right, I'm in. I choked under the pressure. I couldn't do it. I couldn't beat Tom in Hard Punch Chun-Li. He would only use one move.
And you have to imagine that he has other characters and other moves that he's more proficient with than Hard Punch Chun-Li. He might have a wider range than that.
Yes. So then, as this happened, then later in the evening he was just like, do you play GoldenEye? And I was like, yeah, I used to play GoldenEye a lot. And he was just like, I could beat you at GoldenEye. And I was actually really good at GoldenEye when I was young, so I was just like, I will challenge you in GoldenEye. He's like, do I only get to use my feet or do I get to use any button? And then he just got like really aggressive about how good he is at it, because Tom doesn't ever talk really.
Yep.
And he was just like, I can beat you with anything. He's just like, I'll play a game. He's like, I will beat you 10 to -1, which means that at some point that means I killed myself.
Right.
Which is just, that's not a thing. Like, if you're not playing with minds, you
10-0.
can't do
right,
that.
Yeah. He can 10-0 you, but
He's
10
just like-
-1 is an absurd claim.
He's like, I will beat you 10 -1, minds or no minds. And I was like, I don't even know how to react to that comment. I don't want to play you, because now if that happens, I will never be able to live it down. Scary guy. Scary guy in video games, I think. And I fully believe he can play GoldenEye with his feet.
Yeah, I don't think he's the type of person inclined to lie about that sort of thing.
Yeah. We've seen him play NBA Jam. I mean, we've seen him play Magic a bunch.
Yeah, but his NBA Jam game, I mean, he's fine or whatever, but.
I thought his teammates were the weakness. I don't think it was him.
Yeah, no, Tom was good.
Yeah. Plays a mean John Stockton.
Right, but for as much mouth running that was going on,
It's true. It's true. I don't know if I'm up to the GoldenEye challenge.
I mean, that I would not take him up.
I was surprised how skilled he was with Hard Punch Chun-Li, so I'm not sure if I want to take the GoldenEye challenge. Right now, Tom is taking a real challenge. He's playing 8-rack here. But it looks like Carlos going to mulligan. One thing I can say about 8-rack, good against the deck that mulligans.
Yes, definitely.
Right?
And you have to keep sketchy hands against decks like this, too, because so much of how the matchup plays out is, do you just have enough cards to function?
Yeah.
Because they're trading off so many resources.
Tom has 6 cards. Carlos is going down to 5. Is there a video game, maybe an old school video game that you specialized in? I know you were pretty good at Street Fighter. You've told me those stories before.
I'm an okay Street Fighter 2 with Balrog, that's a hard punch character, but that's because that's
the only moves.
Hard Punch Chun-Li versus Hard Punch Balrog is a matchup I would take on. I would definitely play Tom in that. I'm a pretty tough out in Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, Super Nintendo, 64?
The whole range.
Oh, the whole thing? Okay.
Yeah, the whole
All
range.
right.
I'm a pretty tough out.
Do you specialize in the Rainbow Road? Always a difficult stage.
So we grew up with Eugene Harvey, who's just a master of games, of course, and he found out all the course cheats.
Of course.
So eventually we have to sort of patch rule the game isn't about can you hop over the edge at the beginning and land. It's not really that fun of a game.
Okay. Carlos going to go down to 4 here.
But assuming you're playing straight up, then yeah. I'm a tough out. NBA Jam, tough out. I mean, I was rusty in Columbus, and I was still dusting dudes when we were playing.
We were playing pretty good.
Yeah.
We were playing pretty good.
So
now, when you're playing Mario Kart, do you prefer the big character like Bowser or Donkey Kong?
I'm a Donkey Kong.
I knew it. I knew it.
I'm a Donkey Kong man. Yes, I am.
Nothing agile about your gameplay.
Nope. Balrog, Donkey Kong, Shaquille O'Neal, NBA Jam.
Do you play Super Smash Brothers? Are you Donkey Kong?
I'm
man
really
too?
bad.
Okay.
Well, I'm awful at it, so I Donkey Kong to try to grab people and jumping off the ledge.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I had a feeling. All right, Carlos. You don't have a lot of cards to work with against the discard deck, so this would be impressive if he was able to come back. Here's a Mutavault for Tom.
Did Tom take the draw?
Yeah, so that's something he does with this deck.
That is awesome.
So the reason I think he does this is I think he's like said that it makes Smallpox a little bit better.
It is way better with Smallpox because
Yeah?
you're way more likely to get one of their creatures, and it just strips so many cards out of the game that it amplifies the fact that you're up 1 card by taking the draw.
Here's Thoughtseize.
That's exciting.
Mutagenic Growth and a Give me the Finks. Jeez. I'm going to leave an opponent with a Mutagenic Growth.
Good spot building up here for Smallpox.
Yeah. Carlos can sacrifice Verdant Catacombs. You like Smallpox's position right now?
I do like it.
Against the opponent with a creature on a 4-card mulligan.
Oh, you want to be careful with getting that breeding pool there. I'm going to throw this out there. Kikano only has the 2 in the deck. So if he gets Smallpox twice here, it just has no blue mana.
All right, that's completely legit.
Something to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's completely legit. Quicano will draw. Mutagenic Growth in hand. Hi-ya! In for 1. Maybe. Tom could have a Dismember. Nope. Draw a card. Got a little Urborg here. Mutavault coming on in. It's going to hit for 2. There's Urborg. Pass the turn back. Now, Tom does have a copy of Knight of Souls Betrayal in hand. I think that's the big plan here. Here's an attack for 1.
Yeah, I mean, if he resolves that against 4 cards,
Yeah.
we're going to game 3.
Liliana. Might try to go that route instead. Now, Tom does have to be a little bit wary of, the little bit of permission that this deck can have, because there's stuff like Spell Pierce. Speak of the devil.
Well, that's a great way to test the waters there from Tom's side, is to cast Lily on the Veil. If it resolves, that's excellent. And if it trades with a Spell Pierce, you're happy too, because that's going to free up the path for your Knight of Souls Betrayal to resolve.
It's just a really smart play by Tom. Because now, like you mentioned, the coast is clear to say Knight of Souls Betrayal. You got another Spell Pierce, good for you. If you don't, this game is probably over immediately.
We're done here.
Yeah.
We are done here.
Yeah, most likely. There go those creatures. All creatures get -1/-1. Legendary enchantment is Knight of Souls Betrayal, which means Blighted Agent, Inkmoth Nexus, Glistener Elf, Noble Hierarch. See ya. A Mutavault is. Oh, it's a 1/1 still.
Yeah, 15 turns of that.
That's right. There's a Swamp. Here's the Liliana. It will start on 3 up to 4. Time to discard. Tom's got an Urborg he can get rid of. Carlos is going to have plenty of cards to discard, like these pump spells here. And Mutavault in for just 1, not 2. Just 1. Pass the turn back. Let's go to Tom Ross. He'll draw. Looks like he's got some Shrieking Afflictions in hand. Mutavault in for 1. Tick up the Liliana. Distortion Strike down, Shrieking Affliction down. Tom will just pass. Blighted Agent with the draw. That's no good. Mutavault in for 1 more. Oh, it's going to be a slow one. Liliana up. Vine to the Vastwood and Shrieking Affliction down. Quicano will draw. There's a Verdant Catacombs. And now, Funeral Charm.
Oh, that's a little draw step, discard the card. You just drew action coming.
Good old Funeral Charm. Liliana's going to go up
You know, I played that card at my first Pro Tour.
You have told me that
3 or
before.
4 copies. I can't remember how many.
Let's take a look. I'm sure you don't need to see it. You probably know it quite well, but
Choose and discard a card, or target creature gets +2/-1, or give target creature Swamp Walk. This came up at the Pro Tour as I made a Haunted Wumpus, an 8/5, and then gave it Swamp Walk to kill someone. All the modes got used my first Pro Tour.
every piece of the buffalo.
Every last part of it.
Liliana's going up, Glistener Elf down, Mutavault in for 1, and the Shrieking Affliction is on as well. I think we're going to be headed to a 3rd game here in a moment.
This is great.
I bet you were so happy when you got the double Funeral Charm someone.
Yep. He's a Reanimator person, too, and I have a bunch of Haunted Wumpuses in my... I mean, there's a lot of questions to be answered here.
Yeah. Oh, Haunted Wumpus. Liliana's going up. Discard those cards. Beat downs. And then Shrieking Affliction's going to take care of this one. Tom Ross going to win. Game number 2 here over Carlos Quicano. 8 rack, and Infect will give it to us one more time.
Beautiful. It's been some sweet games.
8 rack just leads to just the ugliest.
Grueling.
Yeah, just the ugliest game states.
But I celebrate it all. I love every piece of it.
We've got to see a little bit. How can people not like Modern?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense to me. You get to see just the most absurd things happen.
I think most of the criticism is rooted in the games are kind of over too fast sometimes, and it's too hard to interact against the decks that are trying to kill you fast. I think there is some truth to that claim. I don't quite know how you solve it, because it involves printing a bunch of cards that are kind of disastrous in Eternal formats, but by and large, I really enjoy the format.
I love the format. I really like playing the format, but I love watching the format.
Oh, it is great spectator sport.
I think the games just they're fast, which is nice, but they're just generally ridiculous.
Yes, and in Legacy, for example, we have the experience of viewers of saying this person's dead. We know they're dead, but they don't know it because the reason they're dead is all the stuff in their opponent's hand they don't know about. In Modern, we get to say this person's dead, and this person knows it as well because it's all what's happening on the table.
Yeah, it's a thing of beauty. It really is. Well, game number 3 going to be underway here in just a moment. So let's talk about very quickly our New Jersey Invitational champion. Not Tom Ross. He was a former New Jersey Invitational champion. It's current New Jersey Invitational champion. It's Liam Lonergan. He wanted to be an elf warrior because he did win the New Jersey Invitational with elves, and here he is. And now, here are the ways to get him.
Yep. Not quite ready just yet, but starting September 23rd, this token will be available. A couple of different ways you can get it. Participate at any of the Opens or any of the Classics at the SCG Tour, and you'll get one of these tokens. If you can't make it out to the SCG Tour, any order from StarCityGames.com, $5 or greater will be shipped out with this token. Again, that is starting September the 23rd.
Game number 3. What a great close to the day. A little 8-rack.
Yeah, beautiful.
I love myself some 8-rack.
Tom flying in at the last minute, rushing from the airport to the tournament hall, hoping to get here in time to do this to people for 2 days. I love it.
The best part is, he's got. I know he's got an 8-rack deck box, and just like all the cards just ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, does anyone have Shrieking Affliction? No, Tom's got his 4. You don't have to worry about that.
Teamer box, Obzon box, 8-rack box.
Looks like Quicano is going to take another mulligan here. I think Tom is going to keep.
Well, we don't know who's on the play just yet because we know that Ross took the draw game number 2, and that puts Quicano in this weird spot of, am I supposed to take the draw with Infect? That doesn't sound right, but it's this weird, am I supposed to follow my opponent's lead here, or am I supposed to trust my instincts here and continue to take the play?
Yeah, never know.
Obviously, it takes the play in mulligans. Maximum punishment.
Yeah. Tom is on the draw, waiting patiently. Carlos, as you mentioned, on the play, taking a mulligan. Going to be looking at 6 cards here. Don't forget, tomorrow, we're going to start things off 10 a.m. East Coast time, so make sure to sync up your time zones as we start working our way through more rounds of Modern Action. 6 tomorrow, then we make our cut to elimination rounds. We'll let you at home do the quarterfinal voting, and eventually we're going to crown champion. Someone's going to walk out of here with a lot of SCG points. $5,000, invite that Atlanta Invitational. That tournament's going to be here before you know it.
Yep. It's already, was it less than 3 months away? 2.5 months? Yeah, pretty close.
We're already almost we're already in December, man. Almost there. We're in September right now. It's like, is it halfway over?
Yep.
Basically, jeez. Quicano's going to 5. Going to 5. Yeah, it is. Parents say you get older, everything goes by pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. These past 3 years have been, they've been going by quick. Been a lot of fun, though. Watch a lot of Magic.
Watch a lot of Modern.
True.
Watch a lot of this right here.
Yeah. You got to watch a lot of Magic. Play some, too.
Hey, you've been still pretty active.
Been dabbling. October's going to be a fun month.
I follow him by the wayside a little bit with live play, but Big Dan Teague still mixes it up in Magic Online.
Yeah, I know we can find you on Magic Online. That I know. You're missed out there. People want to see Patrick in action.
Yeah, I know, but Patrick doesn't want to see Patrick in action. Therein lies the trouble.
Windswept Heath. This is Nurborg, and now an Inquisition of Kozilek. Blighted Agent. I think you belong to Tom Ross. Maybe. There's no guarantee of that if he has a smallpox. It could be the full setup.
Funeral Charm.
Oh, that's very true. But there goes Blighted Agent. Pendlehaven, Mutagenic Growth, and I believe Vine to the Vastwood are what's left over there for Carlos. He'll sacrifice Windswept Heath on the inside.
I think he took his draw before sacking.
Okay. Where's Breeding Pool? All right, we'll see what comes next. There's Pendelhaven. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he drew before cracking that fetch line. What's this? Glistener Elf.
Good spot for Smallpox. Real good spot for Smallpox.
Drew Death Mark. Yeah, he's right to the top of the scribe, so even makes more sense now. Raven's Crime.
Oh, boy.
It's a good spot for that. All right, by Mutagenic Growth. There's Mutavault, which can tap for a black for Death Mark, and pass. Inkmoth Nexus. All right, that one's a little bit harder.
Yep, that's a good one to have here.
Yeah, Rosh just drew Smallpox.
It's the best card Kikano can draw.
Mm-hmm. There's Raven's Crime. Take care of the last card, which is Might of Old Kroja. There's a Swamp past the turn back. It's actually a really good draw.
Yeah.
You can do this and Pendelhaven. Okay, never mind. Dismember it. Take it all back. Ah,
Okay.
All right, another Inkmoth Nexus.
All right.
Funeral Charm to draw.
Delightful.
Here comes Mutavault.
That is going to be good here.
Will he fire up that Inkmoth Nexus? With Pendelhaven.
I mean, that's a representative
Interesting.
showing some strength here.
Yeah. Take a draw. Thoughtseize. Let's see what you actually have.
Almost certainly has to be a spell. Otherwise,
Yeah.
he would have ran the same play he did the turn previous of animating with the Breeding Pool and then activating Pendelhaven.
Here is Thoughtseize. Yep, Spell Pierce.
Good discipline there from Tom. Did
Yeah.
not cast that Funeral Charm. He waited.
Swamp. Fire at Mutavault. Come on in. That's that turn back. Kikano will draw. Yep, here it is. Pendelhaven, no Funeral Charm. Which does what?
+2/-1 is
Nice.
likely being the mode selected here.
not giving it Swamp Walk. Shrieking Affliction. And now the gears are going.
Yeah, that clock's going to be a little too fast now, most likely.
Mutavault going to come in. Kikano's going to sacrifice the Misty Rainforest. I think a Breeding Pool might be on the way. I'm not sure if he's got the Dryad Arbor in his deck. And it looks like he does, so he's going to search that up. Well, the Shrieking Affliction is going to work.
Now, this is the squeeze. Can't win by casting spells and can't win by not casting spells.
Yep.
Unless he draws something to blow up the Shrieking Affliction right now. This clock's going to be probably too fast even if Kikano can stack his deck.
That's like a Taxian Probe. Smallpox is what's staring you back in the face.
Smallpox is great here as its insurance against any creature off the top. Also, it's a point of damage, which means that the Shrieking Affliction kills in 2 turns instead of 3. Gets a card out of the hand to maintain it as well.
There's Glistener Elf. Draw. Is that 2 Smallpoxes? Well, you can only do 1 at a time.
Right.
He will cast the Smallpox, Will Ross. So each player loses a life. Then they discard a card. Then there's sacrifice a creature. Then there's sacrifice a land. So sacrifice a creature, going to sacrifice the Dryad Arbor. Then he sacrifices a land.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Pendelhaven and Glistener Elf versus the world. Remember, with Smallpox, you go actually in the order that it's listed on the card, which is important. Kikano's at 1. I don't know if there's. I don't think there's a way out of this. Here comes Glistener Elf. Yep, Tom's going to go up to 3 Infect. There's Inkmoth Nexus. It's a little late to the party. The boss will fire at Mutavault, and that is going to do it. Tom Ross is going to win this match here over Carlos Kikano. 2-1. 8-rack. Yes, 8-rack. Takes down Infect. Oddly enough, I think Tom's been on both sides of it.